Damn. I'll make this look good.
Hold on there a second, buddy.
What?
You're just in probation. You ain't at Men in Black yet.
I mean, I'm pretty much guaranteed. I mean,
Nothing's guaranteed. You ain't Men in Black yet. You're in the probationary period. The suit and tie does not make you Men in Black.
I mean, do I get anything else than just the
You get a weapon.
Do I
mean, you're not going to get this.
Oh, come on. I got to get that.
No.
I got to get that.
Are you a senior agent? Have you been doing this years and years and years?
Well, no.
Exactly. You're going to get...
What do I get?
This. We call it an atomizer. It'll do the job. We'll get rid of bad aliens. It'll get rid of the hive. It will do the job efficiently. That's all you need. Show us that you know how to use that properly, and then we'll think about putting you in the Men in Black.
This looks like it could take down a kiddie pool. What the?
Use that properly. Follow the guidelines of MIB, and then maybe you'll be an agent.
Are you kidding? The hell out of it! Why can't I have that cool gun? That's cool!
Because I'm a senior agent. I've been doing this shit 20 years. You are a probationary agent. You've been doing this shit not even 2 weeks. That's why you get that and I get this.
Shady Men in Black motherfuckers.
It's just the way it works.
Way it works my ass, okay? This looks cheesy as probationary period, my ass. Ugh. Damn you, Men in Black.
That's just how it works. I'm the one who makes the rules and decides when you're off probation, so be very careful.
Guys, speaking of Men in Black right here, you know, since I'm in my probationary period, I've been trying to keep up with the Men in Black and, you know, all of the techniques and everything. And so I decided, well, we both decided to watch the latest Men in Black movie, Men in Black International. You gonna take your shade off?
No, I'm leaving on the whole review. Just so you know who's the boss.
That indeed I have to learn. I have to learn. He's the boss.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the
absolutely
the wee little learner there.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, yes, we are talking about Men in Black International here, and you know, before we get into Men in Black International, you know, we have to talk about the other 3 Men in Black movies, because it's very important to sort of put into context, you know, our thoughts and where this series sort of is in our minds. And you have to go all the way back to 1997. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, Will Smith was just off of Independence Day.
Mm-hmm.
Huge hit. Tommy Lee Jones was a veteran, older actor. You know, Barry Sonnenfeld, the director of that movie, was coming off of like the Addams Family movies. Nobody really knew what to make of Men in Black. And then it came out and it surprised everybody.
That was an amazing movie.
It was great. It was, the action was there, the comedy was there, the chemistry between Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith, it was rock solid. It was fun. The alien designs were cool. Everything worked. I liked it quite a bit. And then you get to 2002 with Men in Black 2, and I wasn't as big of a fan of Men in Black 2.
See, I liked Men in Black 2.
You did.
I did. I didn't think it was a bad movie. I thought the comedy still worked. I thought the action still worked. I thought the plot still worked. I liked Men in Black 2.
See, I liked it. I wasn't in love with it. I had high expectations. They fell short. I didn't really like Laura Flynn Boyle as the villain. Johnny Knoxville was in there. I wasn't really feeling him in it. You know, I thought the story was a little weaker. You know, it still was a fun time, but compared to the first Men in Black, I thought it fell a little bit short. And then, because it didn't make as much money, you had a huge gap between 2 and 3. You had a 10-year time gap. And for a lot of franchises, that is a killer. Because
Absolutely.
once you wait 10 years, the interest has waned and people have lost interest just in general. And you have the third film, which even though it didn't make a lot of money, I really liked Men in Black 3.
I thought it did a great job, in my opinion. I thought it was one of the better ones out of the franchise, out of the first, second, third one. Not as good as the first, better than the second, though.
Yeah, and you have that storyline of a younger Kay, played by Josh Brolin. You have the idea of Will Smith, you know, finding that his character has always been watched, and it's a great little time travel story, which I quite liked a lot. I don't think people really were interested in it, but you know, go back and watch the third one, because I think the third one actually is way better than people give it credit for. I really do. And then it sort of stopped because Men in Black 3 wasn't successful, and they just ended up stopping making them until now in 2019.
Which is 7 years later.
Yeah, 7 years later, now making this, it's a spin-off, but it's more of like, almost you could say even a reboot in some ways. I mean, even though those Men in Black films in this one are kind of referenced a little bit, there still is, it does feel like they're reinventing it in some ways. I mean, where do you want to start with Men in Black International?
I didn't like this movie because there was a lot wrong for me, and I will say that from the get-go. The acting was just not there, even though you had top-notch actors like Emma Thompson, and you had Liam Neeson, and
Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson.
Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson. The acting wasn't there for me. You gotta understand, Chris Hemsworth, he's a superhero type actor. He does Thor, you know. This is not really up his alley. I don't think they picked him the right person for the role. I don't think he's good for the role. I don't think Emma Thompson, who doesn't normally do these type of movies, I don't think this is good for her.
Well, she actually was a carryover from part 3.
Yeah, but this is not, I just don't see her in this. I don't see somebody like Liam Neeson, who normally does like the crime and detective movies, the police movies. I don't think this is up his alley. I really think the acting was shitty for me, just to put it out there. That's what I think. I thought, to jump right into the plot, it was a very weak plot. I did not like the direction this movie took.
Well, look, I mean, first of all, I think they put Liam Neeson in here because they wanted, because of course you're not going to have Tommy Lee Jones in here, so they wanted an older actor, so of course they got Liam Neeson in this, which again, I didn't really feel him. I agree with that. Chris Hemsworth, you know, he is the mighty Thor, man, and he just was not. I mean, he's a good actor, but that doesn't mean just because you're a good actor you're going to fit in every role.
And they portrayed him as a punk in this movie, and even though Will Smith in the original was kind of punkish, he still had some maturity in the movie. They made him too like young acting and too much like a kid, almost like a teenager.
They did. There were moments in here where I'm like, this guy is supposed to be like a hot shot, like one of the best agents, and I'm like, this guy is like really like he's almost acting like a teenager at times.
Yeah, he's supposed to take over the London branch, the branch of Mumbai. He's supposed to take it over. I hate to be that spoiler. It's like, how is somebody like him gonna take over?
Yeah, I wasn't feeling him. The only person that I really did think genuinely did a decent job and really tried was Tessa Thompson.
Yes.
I thought she really did, but even that, I thought she was saddled with very with a less than stellar character, because I like the concept and the idea of a little girl whose parents got like neutralized there. With the new, I think it's the neutralize.
It's called the neuralyzer.
Oh, the neuralyzer. I'm sorry. Look, but look, the idea that they got neuralized and she didn't, and she knows that aliens exist out there, and she's been searching for this for her entire life. I like that idea, but I don't think that they made it the most interesting thing they could have, even though some of these actors like Tessa Thompson is trying. I just don't think that they were able to succeed with it. I honestly don't, man. I mean, it's really tough here because, as you say, the plot here is not the strongest, and that's part of where it goes wrong, because again, the idea of her searching and finding it, that is a very quick part of the movie. That's not even most of the movie. That's a very quick part. Like, she goes into the MIB facility. They say, hey, we caught you.
They don't even make it tougher, and boom, she's an agent.
Yeah, she's like, well, fine, you're probationary, whatever. And they just move on. It's very quick.
Yeah.
Very fast. And then from there, it's like they're just going.
It's too quick pace.
It's too quick.
And then the thing is, they said, oh, there's a mole. You know, this is the movie too. Oh, there's a mole. You knew how this was a very, very predictable movie, whereas the original and even the second and third wasn't so predictable. It was to an extent, but it was still, you had to figure it out. This movie, you didn't have to think. I like a movie that's going to make me think. This movie wasn't a thinking movie. This was like, you knew the plot within 20 minutes of watching the movie. You knew the movie. You knew what was going to happen. You knew the entire movie.
You knew it. And that is the problem, because again, at the end of the day, this movie, man, is just, God, it's just kind of frustrating to me. And it is, because I look at this and I think that it had a lot of potential to it. And even the bad guy here, because these bad guys, they're not the main bad guy. They're the henchmen, for Christ's sake.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even get to see the main bad guy until like the last 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
What kind of bullshit is that? I mean, really?
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen a good movie where they introduce the main bad guy in the last 5 minutes?
No, it's throughout the movie. It's supposed to be throughout the movie.
You know, that first Men in Black movie, when you had the character of Edgar.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that, because the character of Edgar is very, you know, he's just kind of an evil, slimy guy. And I liked it. I thought it worked. I thought it was funny. You were kind of creeped out a little bit. The second one, maybe Laura Flynn Boyle was not as menacing, but you got to know her. She was there throughout the movie. The same thing with the bad guy from the third film. Here, can you tell me anything about the bad guy?
Nah, that was the stupidest part of the movie.
Yeah, seriously, I can't tell you jack squat about the bad guy. Not only that, but I thought that the alien designs were really lacking in this one.
Absolutely.
I mean, you had great alien designs in 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, they rushed this movie. This was a rush job, and you would think they had 7 years to put it together since the last one. You'd think they would make this excellent. You had top-notch acting. You would think that, oh my God, with top-notch action, you would have a top-notch plot. I don't even think it was just the acting. You gotta have a better plot. They could have created a much better plot. They had 7 years, and it's like this plot was almost like an amateur creator, amateur director. It's almost like a college kid who wrote his first script for, I'm gonna write a movie script.
Yeah, I'm gonna
write a movie script, and it's gonna get developed. It wasn't somebody who's experienced and seasoned.
And here's another thing too, which I want to talk about, is the comedy. Now, the comedy here, I don't know what you thought, but this was forced.
It was very forced. They weren't funny. Chris Hemsworth tried so hard to be funny.
He was trying, dude.
Tessa Thompson she was kind of funny a little bit, but she was trying to be funny, and it was just, the chemistry did not work between her and Chris Hemsworth. It did not work. It was not as funny. It was a forced comedy. I don't like a movie that's forced.
And here's the thing about it. You go and look at something like Thor Ragnarok, which had Hemsworth in it and Tessa Thompson.
They were a good duo.
It was a good pair. The comedy worked. And then you go to this, and it's like, it doesn't work. And you're like thinking, why does a pair that has chemistry can't work in this movie?
That's because they don't got good material to work with.
Thank you.
They don't have the material to work with.
They don't. And that's the problem. When you don't have the material to work with, you may have the greatest actors in the world, but they can't save something that's already weak. And that's the problem here. And Another thing I
I
want
think what probably happened with this movie
What?
is they probably created the movie. They didn't know who the actors were going to be. They said, oh, okay. And they probably realized we have a weak plot. Let's bring in some strong actors to try to save this movie. And it didn't work.
Well, not only that, but here's the thing about it. You also have a lot of other comedy in here that really doesn't work as well. You have this character of this little tiny alien called Pawnee.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you did not.
He had no point in it. I mean, I know you thought he was a little funny, but he had no point in the entire movie. He was... The only point he made in the movie, and this is a spoiler, he saved Agent M, which is Tessa Thompson.
Yeah.
He saved her life. There was a point in the movie where he saved her life, and she basically, because he saved her life, she was able to save the day. That was the only purpose he served, but pretty much throughout the movie, he served no purpose.
Absolutely no purpose. The only purpose this little alien served was to be comic relief. And at times, he is funny. However, he is seriously not as funny as he could have been. He seriously is.
He's no sidekick like, remember the pug?
Thank you.
I can't remember his name, but remember the pug in the first one, the dog who's an alien, the talking pug?
Yes.
That was a sidekick. That was a guy that was funny, made you laugh. That little pug, that was a sidekick. And then I think they were trying to imitate that with this little tiny alien, and they did not do a good job because he is no pug from the original.
You just can't beat the goddamn pug.
No, you can't beat the original.
Oh. So, along with the comedy, which wasn't always the greatest, and neither was the acting, and neither was the plot, well, was there anything good? I mean...
The plot, as you were saying, we were talking about this before even, like, after we saw the movie.
Yeah.
I think if Tommy Lee Jones was in it, and Will Smith was in it, it would be a very different movie. I think if you had a different plot with them going back to like the original cast, I think it would have been a very different movie. So I think that really made a difference, having different actors and completely trying to reforge this into a movie that's unrecognizable from the Men in Black enterprise.
Well, you had said to me that basically, like, they did offer this to Will Smith.
And I wish he would have took it, and I wish Tommy Lee Jones would have took it, because it would have been a very different movie.
Because he chose to do Aladdin over this, which, by the way, turned out to be a good thing for him. So it worked out for him. I mean, not for this movie, but for him doing Aladdin, it worked out a little bit more. I will also say this movie is directed by F. Gary Gray. Now, this is the first out of all the Men in Black movies that is not directed by Barry Sonnenfeld. He directed the first three. He did not come back to do this.
Well, it made a big difference.
It did. Now, F. Gary Gray, he's a great director, man. He directed Friday. He directed Set It Off. He directed Straight Outta Compton. The Fate of the Furious, the last Fast and the Furious movie. He's a really great director. Unfortunately, everything I'm hearing about this movie, every backdoor thing I've heard about this, has not been good. That there was infighting with the producers. They were rewriting the script constantly on set. Sometimes they didn't even have a script. And you know, there was fighting amongst the actors. F. Gary Gray didn't have he didn't have his opportunity to do his cut of the film. The producers took it over. There was so much shit that went on with this movie, and you can feel it when you're watching this, man. You can absolutely feel it. And you want to know what's also interesting about this movie? This was not originally supposed to be a straight up Men in Black movie. It was supposed to be a sort of weird sort of combo mix between the Men in Black franchise and the 21 Jump Street franchise.
Oh.
With Jonah Hill and everything. Yeah, it was supposed to be a mashup. They were supposed to do there was supposed to be a 21, 22 Jump Street sort of like mashup with the Men in Black thing. And that didn't pan out, so they rejiggered it and whatnot to this. I don't even know how that would have ended up actually turning out, if that would have been actually really, really good or bad, but it would have been really fascinating, though. This is just flat out, like, just kind of lifeless, man. And unfortunately, it really doesn't do much good for the Men in Black franchise. I mean, do you see, I mean, this movie didn't make a lot of money at the box office. In fact,
I don't think they're going to make another movie.
You don't think they're going to make another movie?
No.
Do you think that we may see a reboot in the future? Do you think we may see anything?
We might see a reboot of the original maybe 5 years from now.
Maybe. It's kind of tough for me, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie, the problem with this movie is that they were not focused on the aliens. They were focused on a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the problem with focusing on a weapon is that you don't actually end up interacting with many really aliens.
Absolutely.
Or anything. You just have this little, like, MacGuffin that you're just going through the plot with, and it doesn't really work. And also, you ended up saying something to me earlier about, it's called Men in Black International, but they don't really go many.
It's all about London.
It's all about London. They don't go many places.
Absolutely.
They go to Marrakesh, they go to London,
and they go to Naples. That's about it.
That's about it. Like, they call it.
They don't go to the whole world.
I mean, it's international. Let's open this fucker up a little bit. And no, we did not open it up, and that's a problem. It's it's really tough because Chris Hemsworth wants another franchise outside of Thor. This was supposed to be a big, like, sort of thing to sort of, hey, we can do a Men in Black movie without Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. It can work, I swear. And
it didn't. It fell short.
It felt
very, very short.
Very, very short between the weak plot, the weak characters, the acting, which again is not their fault because they're not given the right material for it. The comedy is so forced here. Everything. I mean, guys, it's really a mess here. What's your final thoughts and grade rating on Men in Black International?
Because of the plot, because of the acting, because of the forced comedy, because they were concentrating too much on things that did not matter, putting things that did not need to be in the movie, and taking things that really needed to be in the movie. If you want to follow suit with Men in Black 1 and 2 and 3, I'd really have to give this a C-, maybe even a D. It's definitely a movie I would say, wait until it comes on DVD, maybe even wait until it comes on a movie that is regular cable that you don't even have to rent, because I would not see this in the movies, and this is not something I'd probably even rent. I'd probably just wait until a friend says, hey, do you want to watch a movie? I got this, basically watch it when another group of people are watching it.
Hey, you want to watch Men in Black? Oh, great, I love that 97 movie. No, Men in Black International.
Exactly, that type of movie. Yeah. Wait until you're with a group of friends and you're all drunk and you have nothing else to do,
You're all drunk. Well, God, the clubs are all closed and everything. I mean, we could go to Walmart, but fuck it. I guess we'll watch Men in Black International. You know what, man? I was curious about the movie because I was like, okay, what are they going to do without Will Smith here? What are they going to do when you take those three films and you sort of push them away a little bit and focus more on a different set of characters and a different story and a different almost kind of vibe and almost feeling like rebooting this thing and trying to bring new life into it? Unfortunately, there's certain series that even though you may try your damnedest, those films, they had a chemistry, they had something there that dare I say it's like a magic trick that you can only pull off once.
Well, there's one exception to that rule in Hollywood, and everybody says it's Hollywood. There's always a Dracula, meaning there's always a movie franchise that's like Dracula, that you can always reinvent it and always do stuff. This is not Dracula. This is not a movie franchise that you can reinvent like you can with Dracula.
No, it's not, unfortunately. And, again, you needed more unique aliens. You needed those great Rick Baker designs. You needed more sci-fi aspect. You needed great chemistry and flowing comedy, and where you leave the theater in a feel-good moment. We left the theater, and I'm not gonna lie, there wasn't many people that were really like
talking about it. You know, when
it.
you see a movie, you want people talking about it. Nobody really gave a damn.
No, that in fact, I ended up seeing a lady and her husband, and they were like, it was okay, it wasn't great. I mean, they were not really feeling it. I wasn't feeling it either. There's a lot of weakness to this movie. You know, it's unfortunate. This is one of the bigger disappointments of the summer, and it's a disappointment for Chris Hemsworth, who came off of Avengers Endgame, and people loved him in that. And this one, not so much. Missed opportunity for sure. I'm gonna give it a D, man.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna give it a D.
You gave it a little less than me. I gave it a C-
man.
D. You gave it a little less than me.
This thing is nightmarish in a lot of ways, and dare I say, this is one of those fourth films in a franchise that you can just sort of let go. Actually, you know what? Neuralyze yourself. So neuralize yourself so that you don't ever have to experience Men in Black International. I wish we can neuralize ourselves, guys, for sure. What are you writing?
Just notes.
Have I passed?
Got some news for you. You're not a right fit for this organization, for MIB.
Come on. I am Men in Black material. Look. Is there anything I can do that would be worth it? Could get me in.
Well, we did have Will Smith, and he
Okay.
could rap his ass off. So, can you rap?
Can I rap? All right, check it. Let me tell you this in closing. I know it might seem imposing, but trust me, if we ever show in your section, believe me, it's for your own protection. So we see things that you need not see, and we be places that you need not be. So go on with your life, forget that Roswell crap, show love to the black suit, cause that's the menin. We are the men in black, Galaxy the Galaxy Defenders. We are the men. Wait, you're continuing to write. What did I...
I got bad news. Can you just look into this for a second?
No, wait. You're gonna neuralize me. No, you are not gonna neuralize me. No. You are not gonna neuralize me. No. He is not gonna neuralize me. No.
Damn, it was just a joke. He really got in. Well, thanks, guys, for a great movie review. Tell us what you think about Men in Black International, the Men in Black Enterprise, all the movies. Hope you enjoy. Come back next time for another great movie review. And hopefully I'll be here. Hopefully Seth will be here. I don't know. It was just a joke. He's in. All right. Bye.